Hello, all you lovely people, and welcome back to my channel. I apologize if it's too noisy or echoey. It's over 100 degrees today, and I got the AC running. I know lately I've been posting a few long videos to my channel. I'm essentially trying to work on being consistent and get my watch hours up, and of course, work on educating myself as I thrive in this world. I'm also trying to teach myself not to really care about what results I get on YouTube and just do it because I love it. Plus, it gives me something to do instead of just sitting around the house on my downtime, getting bored and irritable. But this is something very serious that I would like to talk about. Being on the autism spectrum myself, I've encountered firsthand just how toxic the world can sometimes be for autistic individuals. I'm sure that this hits home to many autistic individuals who have to put up with the constant challenges many of us face because of misunderstandings or prejudices. Now, this isn't just about me playing the victim. This is my plea for empathy and a call to shed light on a concerning issue. I often hear people say that the world wasn't made for autistic individuals, and while I respect their perspective, I do find myself disagreeing, because in my belief, this world was created by a higher power, the universe, God, or whatever you may call it, to be a place where everyone can coexist, thrive, and find their unique purpose. And in my view, the divine intention behind this world was to craft a space where diversity is celebrated, where each person, regardless of their neurology or their abilities, can contribute their special talents and perspectives to create a richer, more harmonious existence. And after all, nature itself is a testament to diversity, with countless species and ecosystems interplaying to form the tapestry of life. However, I also recognize that the reality we face today doesn't always align with this vision. The world, as we know it, has been shaped by the choices and actions of human beings. Throughout history, the consequences of those actions have sometimes resulted in structure systems and environments that are challenging for autistic individuals, as well as many others. I believe that it's not autism itself that makes fitting into this world difficult. It's the way society has developed that sometimes creates these challenges. The idea of fitting in is a construct we've created based on the societal norms. And these norms can vary widely across different cultures and eras. But I've come to understand that it's not autism that needs to change to fit into the world, but rather it's society that must evolve to embrace neurodiversity and accommodate the diverse needs of all its members. The world is not inherently hostile to autistic individuals. It's the prejudices, the misunderstandings, and the lack of awareness that can make it seem that way. It's a fact that many of us on the spectrum often find ourselves caught in the crossfire of other people's frustrations and insecurities. But why does this happen? It's not because we've done something wrong. It's often because others have their unresolved issues and choose us as their outlets. It's easier for them to target someone who they think won't fight back or respond with aggression. Many of us can relate to the experience of constantly being monitored for even the tiniest idiosyncrasies or differences in our behavior, which are then blown out of proportion, whether it's our unique way of speaking, a passionate interest, or a social interaction that doesn't conform to the norm. These differences seem to invite judgment and criticism. This ongoing scrutiny and negativity can have a profound effect on our self-esteem and confidence. It creates an environment that makes us not only navigate the challenges of our condition, but also deal with the added weight of societal judgment. However, we do need to remember that we, as autistic individuals, are incredibly resilient. Despite these adversaries, we can continue to push forward, striving for a world that's more inclusive and understanding. Now, in the following discussion, I want to dig deeper into these issues and explore their roots and talk about strategies for navigating this challenging landscape. And I hope that ultimately we can work towards greater understanding, acceptance, and create a world that's less toxic for all of us on the spectrum. Navigating a world that often seems oblivious to my unique challenges as an autistic individual can be an uphill battle. I personally encountered situations where it feels like people are setting me up for failure, creating environments that are both hostile and stressful. One glaring example is the workplace. I've had supervisors unfairly hold me to standards that felt unrealistic, even for neurotypical colleagues. They'd assign excessive workloads within tight time frames, devoid of any reasonable accommodations. And this lack of understanding and support created a hostile work environment, making it incredibly challenging for me to thrive professionally. Another prevalent issue is the expectation for me to be a mind reader, which often leads to uncomfortable and unfair situations. For instance, if I unknowingly say or do something that makes someone uncomfortable, they might not give me a straightforward feedback. Instead, I'm expected to intuitively understand their feelings, even when they explicitly claim that everything is fine. This lack of clear communication has led to many misunderstandings and placed blame on me. Facial expressions and social cues have also posed difficulties for me. I may exhibit monotone facial expressions or struggle with making appropriate eye contact. Unfortunately, these differences can lead to misunderstandings and misinterpretations. Others may assume that negative intentions or inappropriate behavior when none exist. In some instances, people have deliberately set up situations to provoke me, knowing that my social responses might not align with typical expectations. This manipulation has led to misunderstandings or even exploitation where I'm painted as the aggressor, allowing the instigator to play the victim. One time there was this woman who works as a fitness trainer at my gym. She invited me to her spin class and I showed up. We had a good workout. The fitness instructor and her friend liked to joke around, and they were talking about this male stripper party going on downtown and how they were debating on whether they should continue working out or go to the male stripper party. And I try to mask my behavior to match theirs because that's how I am in environments. And oftentimes I come off the wrong way. Now, after the workout, the fitness instructor said that she was going to do abs and told me that she would meet me down in the room with the pads. She said that she was going to go use the bathroom and then would be right there. I waited in that room for over 10 minutes and began to suspect something was up. So I hid out of sight to see if they were ever going to come out and head towards that room. And once I hid out of sight, I saw them walking in that direction. So it was clear to me that they were trying to get me to leave because I'm socially awkward. But I walked up to the fitness instructor and she said, "We're going to do a couple of exercises if you're still interested." Like, why do you think I was waiting around this whole time if I was not interested? And I flat out told her that I think she's trying to get rid of me. She gave me this look of confusion and asked why I felt that way, and I said, because I can pick up cues and hints. And she said it was never her intention to make me feel that way, and I told her that that is how she made me feel, and then I left. See, in a world that sometimes feels inhospitable to those with autism, it's essential to foster greater awareness, empathy, and conclusion. And by understanding these challenges and working collectively to create more supportive environments, we can help ensure that autistic individuals like me are not set up for failure, but rather empowered to succeed and thrive on our terms. Now, why do people like to play the victim? Well, one is attention seeking. Some people have a strong desire for attention, sympathy, or validation. So by portraying themselves as victims, they can draw others' attention and compassion, satisfying their need for acknowledgement. Others is like to avoid responsibility. Playing the victim can be a convenient way to evade accountability for one's actions. Instead of taking responsibility for their mistakes or behaviors, individuals might shift the focus onto how they've been wronged or mistreated. And they play victim to gain power. Victimhood can sometimes grant a sense of power and control in a situation. So by casting themselves as the victim, individuals may manipulate others into supporting or defending them, effectively gaining an advantage. And they play the victim to manipulate sympathy from those around them. This manipulation can be particularly effective with dealing with empathetic individuals who genuinely want to help. They also play victim to avoid consequences. By framing themselves as victims, individuals might hope to avoid the negative consequences of their actions. They may hope that others will be less likely to hold them accountable when they perceive themselves as victims. They also do it to justify their behaviors. Some use a victim narrative to justify their actions or their decisions. They believe that if they can convince others that they were victimized, their actions may become more acceptable or understandable. And there's shifting the blame. Playing the victim can be a strategy for shifting blame onto others. It allows individuals to portray themselves as innocent and place the responsibility for any negative outcomes on someone else. People who play the victim may be seeking assistance, whether it's practical help, emotional support, or financial aid. They hope that by presenting themselves as victims, others will step in to assist them. Victimhood can be a shield against criticism or feedback. Individuals might use their perceived victim status to discourage others from providing constructive criticism, shielding themselves from any form of disapproval. And in some cases, individuals may adopt a victim role to gain allies or followers who are sympathetic to their cause. And this can be particularly effective in rallying support for various endeavors. I had an experience on Instagram that left me quite baffled and somewhat frustrated. I came across this woman's profile and we engaged in a chat. At some point she mentioned that she charged $50 for a conversation. Naturally, I asked what I would be getting for that amount, seeking some clarity on what was being offered. Instead of an answer, she just reiterated that it was a $50 fee. Given the lack of information and my uncertainty about her intentions, I made the decision to report her profile as a possible scam. It felt like the responsible thing to do, especially considering the prevalence of online scams. However, what happened next was unexpected. Several months later, I discovered that she had retaliated by creating a TikTok video in which she not only criticized me, but also posted screenshots of our private conversation, tagging me in the process. And this caught me completely off guard. And I just couldn't help but feel that she was attempting to gain attention and sympathy by playing the victim. To make matters worse, some of her followers joined in, leaving derogatory comments about me, including baseless accusations about my respect for women. It's important to note that my decision to report her had nothing to do with her gender. It was solely based on my uncertainty about the nature of our interaction. This experience serves as a stark reminder of how individuals can sometimes manipulate situations, portraying themselves as victims and using social media to amplify their grievances. It's a perplexing aspect of the online world where misunderstandings can quickly escalate and intentions can be misconstrued. While the online world offers numerous opportunities for connection, information, and entertainment, it can also be a daunting and occasionally toxic environment. One of the main difficulties I have encountered is the lack of understanding and empathy towards neurodiversity, including autism. Many internet users may not be familiar with autism, which can lead to misconceptions, stereotypes, and negative assumptions. This lack of awareness can result in hurtful comments, cyberbullying, or exclusion from online communities. The internet can also be an overwhelming due to sensory sensitivities, like bright, flashing advertisements, loud autoplay videos, and incessant notifications can quickly become unbearable. For someone with sensory processing issues, this constant barrage of stimuli can lead to anxiety and sensory overload. Another challenge is the potential for miscommunication. Online interactions often rely on text-based communication, which lacks nonverbal cues like facial expressions and tone of voice. As an autistic individual, I sometimes struggle to interpret the true meaning behind messages, leading to misunderstandings or unintentional offense. Furthermore, the internet can be a breeding ground for trolls and cyberbullies. Autistic individuals may be targeted for their differences, and online harassment can take a severe toll on their mental health. The relative anonymity of the internet emboldens some individuals to engage in hurtful behavior that might not engage face to face. In my journey throughout life, I have often observed a troubling trend in human behavior. It's a sense of entitlement that seems to emerge when people encounter someone they perceive as different from the norm. It's as if this perception gives them an unwarranted sense of authority, a belief that they have the right to judge or control the person they consider to be different. This phenomenon goes beyond the realm of neurodiversity. It encompasses various aspects of diversity, from race and gender to abilities and beliefs. It's a mindset that has roots in societal norms and biases, a notion that certain individuals are somehow more qualified to define what is normal or acceptable. One aspect of this sense of entitlement is the idea that those who consider themselves typical or neurotypical often believe that they have the authority to dictate the behavior or choices of those they perceive as atypical or neurodivergent. This can manifest in various ways, from offering unsolicited advice on how to conform to social norms or how to outright discrimination or exclusion. I've personally experienced situations where individuals assume they had the right to define what's best for me simply because I'm neurodivergent. They might insist that I need to change, conform, or mask my true self to fit their idea of normalcy. This disregard for personal autonomy can be deeply frustrating and disheartening. Moreover, this entitlement can extend to a sense of superiority. People may believe that they possess greater knowledge or understanding, making them better equipped to make decisions for others. This arrogance often results in the marginalization of those who are perceived as different, stifling their voices and perspectives. So now that I kind of got my rant out of the way, what can we as autistic individuals do? How do we push through this craziness of this messed up world? Well, one, we need to learn how to say it is what it is. We have to learn to give up control and accept things how they are. How often do you find yourself fighting to make make things the way you feel is right, and waste a lot of time and energy doing so. To give up control, you need to start by recognizing the aspects of life that you can influence and those you can't. Focus your energy on what you can change and let go of the rest. Embrace uncertainty as an opportunity for learning and personal growth. Trust in your abilities to adapt and find solutions when challenges arise, rather than just trying to micromanage every detail. Ultimately, relinquishing control can lead to reduced stress, increased resilience, and a greater sense of freedom. Next, you need to just accept the fact that you are autistic. You don't have to share with others that you are on the spectrum, but you need to accept the fact that you are. Accepting that you are autistic is a crucial step in your journey to self-discovery and self-acceptance. Start by educating yourself about autism, understanding your unique traits and challenges, and connecting with the autism community. Seek support from friends, family, or professionals who can help you navigate your feelings and experiences. Embrace your neurodiversity as a part of your identity, not a limitation. Remember that being autistic also comes with strengths and talents that you can harness to your advantage. Practice self-compassion and be patient with yourself as you navigate the process. Ultimately, accepting your autism can lead to greater self-esteem, self-awareness, and a more fulfilling life. Next, you want to advocate for yourselves. Advocating for oneself as an autistic individual, especially when communication challenges are present, can actually be achieved through various means. For those who haven't developed verbal communication, alternative communication methods like sign language, picture communication systems, or assistive technology can be incredibly empowering. It's important to communicate your needs and preferences to trusted allies, such as family members, caregivers, or therapists, who can act as advocates on your behalf. Additionally, self-advocacy can extend to written communication, where you express your thoughts, preferences, and boundaries in a format that suits you. Seeking out support groups, disability advocates, or autism organizations can also provide valuable guidance and resources for effective self-advocacy. Remember that advocating for oneself is a journey, and it's okay to seek assistance and build these skills over time. You also want to document instances of unfair treatment or bullying, because that is a crucial step for self-advocacy and seeking support. Keep a detailed record of each incident, including dates, times, locations, and the individuals involved. Describe the events, what was said and done, and how it made you feel. If possible, gather any supporting evidence such as text messages, emails, or witnesses who can attest to the incidents. Sharing this documentation with trusted individuals like family members, friends, or professionals can help validate your experiences and provide a foundation for seeking assistance or appropriate action, such as reporting bullying to relevant authorities or organizations. Remember that your documentation is a powerful tool for protecting your rights and well-being. Bear in mind that sometimes authorities or individuals in position of power may dismiss your concerns, and that's when you just need to bug them or shout. And in a calm and discreet manner, of course. I'm not talking about creating a ruckus. If your pleas for assistance are initially ignored or downplayed, don't give up. Keep a record of your attempts to communicate and escalate the issue. So, just to wrap up this video, navigating a world that may not always understand or accommodate autistic individuals can be challenging, but it's not insurmountable. We must remember that the world was made for everyone, and each of us has a place in it. While some may assert authority or entitlement over those who are different, it's crucial to stand up for your rights and advocate for ourselves. Acceptance of our autism and giving up the need for control can lead to greater self-empowerment and happiness. Documenting unfair treatment and seeking support and persistently pursuing help when authorities dismiss our concerns are vital steps in ensuring our well-being and equality. So together we can create a more inclusive world that embraces neurodiversity and values every individual for who they are. I want to thank you all for joining me on this journey. And remember, you are never alone in this.